As I mentioned in lecture, if you have not already done so, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you download the Microsoft Office from the com.edu website. It's, again, going to be a free version for you to use while you're at com. And the online version of Microsoft Excel does not have some of the capabilities that the full version has. And when you download Office from com.edu, it's the full version. I am going to start with the assumption that you have put in your data. And so here is my, once again, made up data of volume of an acid, volume of the base, and my temperature change. And if you recall, we had two teams. We had team number 1, and then we had team number 2. And so we're going to want to put in a scattergram. Just going to click Insert and come, actually, before I do that, I'm going to select my data. And so because I actually have several columns hidden, I'm going to push the Control key, and that's going to allow me to just select the 2 columns in which I'm interested. And now I can go ahead and put in a scattergram. Now, I personally will not put any connecting line in with my graph. Once again, I'm going to select my X variable, and it is important to set your data up as X, Y pairs. So I have my X variable and I have my Y variable. And then select your X and select your Y. I'm holding down the Control key as I'm doing my selection. And yes, I did take the title of that column as well. Notice I'm only doing the data first from team A. And now I'm going to go click on Insert, come over, click Charts, and pick my first possibility, which is the scattergram. Once you have your chart, then we get to do a few pieces and parts to it. Again, if you're using the online version, you're not going to be able to do these pieces. The plus symbol is going to let you put various titles, and so I want to have axis titles. And I also want to have a trend line. Now with the trend line, it's not enough just to put the trend line on. I want to instead put the equation on the graph, and I'd kind of like to know how good my line is, and that R squared value is going to be telling me how well that line represents my data. One thing you don't have to do, though it's nice, would be to extend your data back and forward a little bit and back a little bit. It just gives you a little better idea of what's going on. And then I am going to, this is all I'm doing right now, I will be honest, is just making it look a little bit better. Okay, I happen to like it looking like that. Okay. Now I need to add additional data. I need to add another set of data, that being this column and this column worth of data, and put it into this graph. The way that I have found most useful is go ahead and select the graph and let's see here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So select the graph, right click, and where it says select data, and click that. And what I want to do is I want to add another series. And for my X, so if you notice series X values, it'll be that data. And for my series Y values, it's going to be that data. Whoops, it's going to help if I actually let's try that again. There we go. There's my series X. And now I need to make sure I click where I want to put the Y. And there's my Y. And something is not right. Okay. So just click OK. Now, I knew right away that something is not correct because if I look, I have, this is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Not sure exactly why. Wanted to do that. Let's try this again. So let's select my data. I'm going to add. And now for the series X, let's just take the numbers. And for the series Y, take my numbers. And okay. Okay, there I go. So now I have a second set of data. And once again, I want to add my trend line. I can try to do this again. And lo and behold, it works. I can, yes, that's the trend line I want to add. So all I have is on the right-hand side, I have color, some other layout options, and then finally I have this option of being able to display my R² value and display my equation. And once again, I'm going to project forward and back. And let's try, don't really want that. I want to go black. I want, once again, that, and there. And then the last thing I want to do is actually, I want to highlight, I want to change how big my dots are. And so I'm going to come over to my marker. So I'm just clicking on my dot. At this point in time, I'm making it prettier. So I just highlight it on one of the data points, come to marker. Oh, I think I want it to be black, and I want my fill. Oh, I will leave it orange. That's kind of fun. And that, let's see what that gives us. That gives us something a little bit different. And once again, I can just grab and move my equation so it's easier to see. And somehow my chart title disappeared. There we go. So for chart title, determination of base determination of volume of base at X. There. At this point in time, it becomes really more of a question of doing just a think of a word processing issue, okay? Because it's just as simple as clicking on my axis. And so for the y-axis, I have, if you would like, you could put it down as delta T. Temperature change. And then parentheses. And then to get the degrees symbol, Alt 0176 and hold down the Alt key. And your little degree symbol will pop up. And then for the axis title down below, volume NA, well in this case I just have it called base, and that's an ML. And there I go. You can do some playing as you see fit. Once you are satisfied with what the graph looks like, you can go ahead and just select the graph over in the file, select print, and instead of printing to an actual printer, if you would like, you can just do Microsoft Print to PDF. And then it will ask where you would like to save this. Go ahead and have it in my documents. And then I can just go ahead and attach my graph straight off to my lab report.